It's important when doing a fraction PEMDAS problem, such as the example above, that you're careful with your bookkeeping and that you don't forget how to do your fraction skills as you work your way through making PEMDAS decisions. So the first thing to recognize is that we should be working on the parentheses, and inside the parentheses we should do a multiplication first. That means we should be doing 2/5 times 7/2, because we need to multiply using improper fractions. Copy the remainder of your problem down. And continue. Or you can do the work off to the side, but necessarily you should have the line showing what you're doing very, very clearly. The messy work off to the side, or build it into the equation, into the steps, one line at a time. So now 2/5 times 7/2, we can cancel and save ourselves some work. That gives us 3/4 minus, now I'm going to turn 2 1/3 into 7/3, because we're going to multiply with it eventually, so we may as well turn it into that now. And 4 minus what's left on the top is 7, and on the bottom is 5. And I'm going to call this 5/2 as well, because eventually we're going to add things together. Now, 4 minus 7/5, we can turn that into a common denominator, and that will give us That will give us 3/4 minus 7/3 times 20/5 minus 7/5 plus the 5/2. So again, you're going to need quite a bit of space to do this, and so I will move to the next slide. On this slide, I've copied down the last line of the previous page. So now our step is 20/5 minus 7/5 gives us 13/5. And so we write the next line, 3/4 minus 7/3, and I'm going to write a times sign now because of the implied multiplication between the 7/3 and the parentheses, plus 5/2. There's nothing to cancel, so we're left with 3/4 minus 7 times 13 is 91, and 3 times 5 is 15ths, plus 5/2. And now we have simply an addition problem of positive and negative fractions. We need a common denominator, which in this case is 60 as the smallest one. 3/4 becomes 45/60. 91/15 becomes something over 60, and that something is whatever 91 times 4 is, which we can take off to the side. And 5/2 is also in 60ths, multiplying the bottom by 30, and therefore the top by 30 as well. That gives us 150/60ths. And so this gives us 45 minus 4 times 91 is 364, plus 150 over 60. And once again, I'll move to the next slide. So now you simply have an integer problem on the numerator, which if you add the positive numbers together, you get 195 plus a negative 364, and that's all over 60. And I can do that because I rewrote it as an addition problem such as that, and then I can move it around any way I want. And now I simply need to finish the integers on the top, and that's sort of messy, but it's 364 minus 195. 195 gets us up to 200. That's 5 more, plus another 100, 105 plus 64, so it's 169 is the difference between these two numbers. The negative numbers are going to win, so the answer is negative 169 over 60, which turns into negative 2 and 49/60ths. Sure, this is messy, but it's also just a matter of good bookkeeping. No single step in there is hard. Some of it's messy, but you should be able to do it in a nice, organized fashion.